Guys, so it is day 2 of our holiday and we spent the first day just kind of relaxing, taking in the really beautiful environment, landscape that is Cape Agulhas National Park, and now we're heading off to do our first day of work. There Riyadh is getting in the car. Say hi.
Hello.
And yeah, I've got my fast lashes on. We walked basically just from our room to the car where it's parked, and I felt like I was going to take off because it is slightly windy today. Not really windy, but I mean in any kind of wind, lashes or something else. So yeah, let's get this show on the road. And that is a wrap on our first ever day of shooting. I must admit it was a little awkward at times because we're in a small little town and I don't think people here are used to vloggers or bloggers or photographers or anything like that. So there were quite a few people watching as I was like doing all kinds of weird flouncy things on the boardwalk and in the water and on the sand, and it felt a little awkward, but we did it for you guys. So we're hungry now. It's 10 to 1 and we're heading to the nearby sea shack. I think it's called the sea shack. We will confirm, and we're gonna go and have some seafood at the sea shack, and I will take you guys with us. And it's time to tuck into this. Ah.
Wood. Wood. Good.
Wood and cocktails. So we're at the Sea Shack now. We've just had our lunch and it was delicious. But there are a few people sitting around and it is going to be a little awkward to just whip out the camera and hold it up high and speak really loudly and, reviewing our food. So we're going to do it on the down low like this. Okay, so this, in my opinion, was probably some of the best fish and chips and calamari that I've ever had. Aside from the fact that it is a beautiful setting out here on a beach with white sand and gorgeous waves and the sky is blue, aside from the actual experience of the location, the actual food itself was delicious. The calamari wasn't tough, it wasn't chewy, just melted in your mouth. Your teeth could cut right through it, and the actual, the coating, the crispy coating on the calamari, it wasn't thick, it wasn't overly flavorful. It had just enough flavor in it, but the calamari itself was flavorful. And the same could be said for the hake. It was a thick piece of hake. We had 2 pieces actually each in our in our pack, in our lunch, in our meal.
In our meal.
We had 2 pieces of hake each and chips, and I had a calamari portion as well. And the hake was a thick piece of hake. There was a lot of actual fish meat in the piece of hake, and the batter was a thin batter as well. It wasn't overly crispy either, so it wasn't like a deep fried, heavily crispy piece of batter or batter coating. And the batter itself had some flavor, but not too much. Most of the flavor actually came from the fish as well. It was really, really incredible. And we asked the waitress whether they serve all of the fish, whether it's fresh. She said some of the time it's fresh, and sometimes just because they have a lot of people through here, they get their fish fresh, but they have to freeze it themselves. So you're not always guaranteed a fresh piece that hasn't been frozen, but you still get the flavor of having bought a piece of fish in a fish and chips parcel from a small seaside town in South Africa. It was absolutely delicious. And the chips, I mean, I don't know what more you can say about chips. It's like it wasn't slap chips, but it was really nice. They flavored it really nicely as well. They didn't. It wasn't just salt and pepper. It was like a barbecue kind of spice, barbecue,
like a secret spice.
Yeah,
kind of
the usual secret spice that you get on all fish and chips. So it was, they used that, but they didn't use too much, so it wasn't overly flavored, and you could add your own salt and vinegar if you wanted to. It was just overall a really, really good meal. It came with a wedge of lemon if you wanted to squeeze that over your fish and your calamari, which I did. I had a little bit of difficulty with it, but I did manage to squeeze it over, and the fish really retained the flavor of that lemon as well. It was absolutely delicious. And then as far as drinks goes, Riyadh had a Sprite. It was a Sprite. It tasted like Sprite. And then I had a pina colada cocktail. Again, a very, very delicious cocktail. It was creamy, coconutty. You could definitely get that pineapple, but like tropical kind of feel to it. And I know they definitely used cream, actual cream in here as well, because it is a very creamy, you can see, but a very creamy cocktail. The alcohol flavor wasn't particularly overpowering, which I like, because if I'm having a cocktail, I want to be able to enjoy it. I like the sweetness of cocktails. Some people like the bitterness, but I really enjoy if the alcohol flavor is not overwhelming, and you get to taste all the other flavors that go into the cocktail as well. And this was by far, for me, one of the best cocktails, pina colada cocktails anyway, that I've ever had, and it perfectly suits this gorgeous beach setting. Mm-hmm. Anything to add? Because I just rattled all of that off.
No.
I'll sip my cocktail.
I think you've pretty much mentioned everything. Probably just one thing is that the staff at Sea Shack are really, really friendly and a great bunch of people. So it really added to the experience, and I would recommend it to anyone. If you want good food, if you want good service, good friendly people, then this is definitely one of the places to come to.
So I think we're gonna give this like 4. We've got 4 thumbs up.
Like that.
Woo! guys, so today's big adventure is going to be the Cape Agulhas lighthouse. We're also going to be taking a little look at the southernmost point of Africa in a bit. It's where the two oceans are supposed to meet, but first, that boy up there. So let's go take a look. Would you give us a tour, Mr. Frizzler? You can say what you say.
When it comes to lighthouses, I'm priceless. But this is the looks like the replica of the actual lighthouse that we are in. So that's that one. I think.
We've just arrived at the stairs going up to the lighthouse, and when they said steep, they were not joking. One more level up. Here we go. How's it going?
I thought this was the last level, one more level.
We hope it's one more level. There's another ladder going up. Guys, I think I'm going to need both hands for this one, so I'm not going to be able to take you up with us, but I will show you what it looks like when we get to the top. there because I have no interest in going up there.
It is incredibly high. It's deceivingly high.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm not one that really shies away from heights, but this is quite intense.
and that is narrow.
Yeah, can I go? Experience. Let's go.
Enjoy yourself. So we are back in the car. We've done the lighthouse now. We have climbed to the top. I'm really glad to be back on solid ground, and I have a bit of a fear of heights, so that was particularly daunting. And those ladders, I wouldn't even call them staircases because they were really steep. I think they were like ladders.
Yeah. I think it's not. I don't think it's a staircase.
Yeah. So those ladders were a little daunting. The last one in particular, it was creaking. It felt like wobbly, and yeah, it was an experience. It was definitely something else. But the view from the top was amazing. South Africa has some of the most beautiful coastlines, and I truly believe that this is one of them. The ocean, you could see all the different shades of blue in the ocean, and you could see the expanse of the coastline sort of along Cape Agulhas, which is really, really beautiful. And we're heading out now. We're taking a drive along a little bit of a dirt road so that we can go and find the southernmost tip of Africa, which was visible from the lighthouse, so it's not a very far drive. Yeah, stay tuned. Ooh, and we're following a gang of bikers apparently, so let's stay tuned. We are currently strolling to the southernmost tip of Africa. I'm all sweaty and shiny from having climbed the lighthouse, which was fantastic, and we're walking directly into the sun, so excuse the squinting.
It's been a long day.
Right behind me here, you guys can see, I don't know if you can hear me, otherwise I may have to voice over this part, but what you can see behind me is a sculpture, I guess, of Africa, and we're going to now go here to the southernmost tip, which is here somewhere. Well, it's over there, but it's there on the sculpture. I'm going to show you guys a few close-ups because they've got like the Drakensberg Mountains that actually raise over there. It's really beautiful. So let's go and have a close-up. And we're here at the southernmost point of Africa, and yes, I am in different clothes because yesterday when we were here the first time, the biker gang, Harley Davidson biker gang that got here before us, had formed a queue in front of the stone which indicates where the two oceans meet, and they were all taking photographs, so we figured we would come back today and get the shot again. So here we are, new hair, new outfit, not exciting really, but the southernmost point of Africa where the two oceans meet. Let's go take a look. 6:30 in the evening and we are here on Pebble Bay Beach. I think it's called Sadestrand Beach or something like that. But the bed and breakfast that we're staying at, which is just around the corner here, so it's really close, is called Pebble Bay. And I can see why, because we are on a beach that is entirely covered in little pebbles. So it's probably better if I showed you like this. It's really, really beautiful, and we're about to catch a really beautiful sunset over here behind, so we thought we would come to do a few photos and see if we could get some cool content for you guys. Mr. Photographer getting himself ready. And this is the beautiful beach that we are on. So I just learned the hard way that you do not want to walk with bare feet on a pebble beach because it hurts. So I'm going to try this again with my sandals on to get down to the water. So I just learned the hard way that you